Now that's really interesting, and I wonder if you could share a little bit around, because I've noticed also you are very integrate you are, or rather you use in a very integrative manner consulting with technology, and especially now even the development of AI. And I believe that this is going to be something that will be extremely helpful with that global growth of people wanting to franchise their business. Could you share a little bit about that?
So, going back 10 years ago, and you mentioned earlier about how sometimes franchisees don't continue on their journey, and
Yes.
to me that was a problem that I really wanted to tackle and solve.
Right.
And I realized that actually it wasn't that the franchisor didn't have the best intentions and wanted to do the best they could for the franchisees, nor was it that the franchisees were always deliberately trying to break all the conditions of the franchise agreement. Really, a lot of the times was relationship breakdown, communication breakdown, and the root cause of it, or a lot of the time, was due to the fact that they didn't have sufficient information about what was happening
Yes.
on both sides of the fence. So that's when I realized that actually both franchisors and franchisees need information, and information that goes to and fro on one single platform. And that's when the brainchild of TreeAMS came up. We actually then realized we needed to pull everything that the franchisee needs on one platform. And that includes the SOPs, the training programs, audit programs, daily checklists, being able to pull the data of performance from a revenue perspective as well as a cost of goods perspective onto one single platform. And because of the fact that franchisors and franchisees need to have a common platform to communicate and not actually have just conversations, this data actually lets people look at situations from a pragmatic view on what needs to be done, whether or not the franchisees have done the needful to follow the brand guidelines and the daily operational protocols that's needed to conduct the best practices. And then with the data that we collect, we are then able to actually better manage the growth of the franchise from the franchisor's perspective. They know what's happening with their franchisee, and from the franchisee's perspective, they know how their team are doing as well. And when they have conversations with the franchisor, they're all on the same page.
Yes, yeah.
Even from a consulting perspective, we actually work with our franchisors to look at this data, sit with our franchisors, discuss with them what are the next steps, and how do we coach our franchisees to perform even better based on the results that we are seeing from each and every one of the outlets. And when the franchisee needs help, that's also when we are able to trigger help to our franchisees, not as a lag statistic, but actually a just-in-time active action to help our franchisees do better and stay within the guardrails of
Yes.
how they should be performing.
Yes. I think there's so much discipline there, isn't it?
Yes, and both sides actually benefit from it in the longer run. In the short run, maybe the franchisor might find that it is a little bit of effort and costs involved in terms of manpower, in terms of having their team travel to meet with their franchisees, so on and so forth. But when the franchisor serves as a business advisor to the franchisee also tends to be more compliant and happy, because
And
most often,
engaged.
the
And
time the
engaged,
results
yeah.
speak for themselves.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And well, thank you so much, Hsien, for sharing with us today. Um, I think one key takeout that I'm particularly passionate about, and based on what you said, was the link to the next generation and legacy. And this whole business process, the entire discipline you talked about, the dashboard, um, the commercial experience, etc., will be an extremely good platform or education platform, even for the next generation who want to, who might want to come in, or who might not feel comfortable in coming in to take on the family business. Why I say that is because in many cases, they may not have actually got the similar background. Say they may not have a food and beverage background, but the entire system is guided, isn't it? The
Yes, that's
journey,
right.
etc. And the operations is always there, the same functions, right? Inventory management, your marketing, your sales, etc. So it does give the next generation a good platform to learn and to start off. So indeed, it is a good thing for family business leaders who want to bring their next generation into the business. Now, at the same time, we talked about legacy. So, how could this be a legacy from an investment perspective as well? Um, as I had an earlier conversation with you, it could also be businesses like you shared, in Philippines where they take on various McDonald franchises, etc., to grow so that the franchise revenues can then be invested in other businesses as well. So I think with that, thank you very much. And thank you, Hsien. It's been a pleasure having you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.